Alright, good morning, guys. I'm going to be talking to you about Chapter 15, Lesson 3, Protecting Earth. So let's look at this picture here. It says, the image taken from a satellite shows an eruption on a volcanic island. What parts of the environment do you see in this image? So we definitely see water, we see land, we see the atmosphere because we see the clouds, we see smoke. It also says, how can images taken from satellites help scientists study Earth? Well, satellites can show us current conditions of Earth as well as its changes over time and how we see those changes occur. So I want to make sure you're on the correct page. We're on page 554 and now 555. So protecting Earth. Orbiting satellites can hover and must take many digital images that are transmitted back to Earth and assembled. The images gathered provided information on environment changes including ozone thinning, global temperatures, and physical changes to these ecosystems. Monitoring human impact on Earth, because we definitely impact our Earth, because we've talked about we cause most of the pollution that happens on Earth. Some of it's natural that occurs, but most of it comes from us. So how do we impact our Earth? So it says Earth's human population is expected to grow over 9 billion by 2050. The increasing size of the human population has caused many environmental changes around the planet. Scientists use satellites, airplanes, and ground-based stations to collect data related to levels of greenhouse gases, pollution throughout the atmosphere, ecosystem changes, melting glaciers and sea ice, climate patterns, and ocean health to monitor human impact on Earth. So how have we affected these things? The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, it's called the EPA, monitors the health of the environment in the U.S., enforces environmental laws, and develops plans for cleaning up toxic waste. Developing technologies. We're on page 556 now. So it says developing technologies help protect Earth's resources, and for this reason, they often focus on saving energy and reducing pollution. Water-saving technologies. Cleaning water requires energy. Therefore, technologies that conserve water, including low-flow showerheads and toilets and drip irrigation, also conserve energy. So those are water-saving technologies. Low-flow showerheads and toilets and drip irrigation systems, all those help save water and conserve it. Energy-saving technologies. Reducing fossil fuel use and relying on other ways to produce electricity, such as solar electricity, helps create less pollution. Relying on more renewable energy resources can reduce fossil fuel use. Some of these sources can be expensive, but designs are constantly improving and costs are going down. Other energy-saving advances including compact fluorescent light bulbs. Those are called CFLs. They use about 1/4 the energy of incandescent bulbs and can last 10 times longer. If every household in the U.S. replaced just one incandescent bulb with a CFL, it would reduce greenhouse gas emissions by the amount equal to removing 800,000 cars. So if everyone would replace that incandescent bulb to a CFL light bulb, it would be like removing 800,000 cars. That's a lot of energy. All right. CFC replacement. If you have read that CFCs cause thinning of the ozone layer. How does this happen? In the upper atmosphere, energy from sunlight causes chlorine atoms in CFC molecules to break away. The chlorine atoms react with ozone molecules, breaking them apart. Hydrofluorocarbons were developed as transitional replacements for CFCs and are subject to a later phase-out schedule. Even after CFCs and HCFCs are no longer in use, it will take decades for the ozone layer to recover. All right, let's see. So CFCs are being phased out because they cause thinning of the ozone layer. Alternative fuels. Two alternative fuels are gasohol and biodiesel. Burning these fuels rather than gasoline helps reduce air pollution that causes global warming. So we are on page 557. Gasohol is a mixture of 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol. Ethanol is alcohol made from corn, sugarcane, and other plants. Using gasohol helps reduce emissions of carbon monoxide, an air pollutant that contributes to smog. And remember, smog is like what photochemical smog that we've talked about from lesson 2, and it can hover above cities just because the amount of vehicles that are being run and from the exhaust, and it can create this thick toxic air. The carbon in ethanol comes from plants rather than fossil fuels, so it's a cleaner alternative. Biodiesel is made from renewable resources, primarily vegetable oils and animal fats, including oil left over from frying foods in restaurants. Biodiesel can be burned in diesel engines, in farm and industrial machinery, trucks, and cars. Those are the things that biodiesel can run in. It produces fewer pollutants than regular diesel fuel, and it reduces CO2 emissions by 78%. So biodiesel is a really good alternative fuel. And it's made up of vegetable oils, animal fats, and leftover frying foods. Automobile technologies. So we're on page 558 now. When people buy cars, they normally want to know how far they can travel miles per gallon. People can save energy and cause less pollution when they travel by driving cars that get high MPG, miles per gallon. So for instance, like I drive a car and I get around 30 miles per gallon. So I get a lot of miles for every gallon of gas I use. A car with high miles per gallon also uses fewer fossil fuel resources. So it's better for the environment if we buy those types of vehicles that do run longer for more miles per gallon. A hybrid electric vehicle, an HEV, has a small gasoline engine and a battery-powered electric motor to run the car. HEVs can get up to twice the mileage of a conventional car, close to 50 miles per gallon in some models. That's really good. So my car, it holds around 17 gallons, and I can get about 30 miles for every one of those gallons. So I can travel a really long way without ever having to fill up. In the future, another automobile alternative might be a fuel cell vehicle, an FCV. A fuel cell vehicle produces electricity by combining hydrogen and oxygen from the air. The primary waste product is water. Tailpipe emissions from FCVs are nearly pollution-free. However, obtaining hydrogen fuel requires using methane or other fossil fuels. Researchers are looking for alternatives. Making a difference. We're on page 559. Do you turn off the lights when you leave a room or recycle bottles and cans? If so, you are helping reduce your impact on the environment. I know, like, for instance, I do save a lot of my bottles that I use, or I'll use them 2 or 3 times before I'll actually throw them away because I like to refill them with water and use them like as my water bottle. So that's just a really good habit to get into if I were you guys. And always cut your lights off because that just runs the electricity bill up. I know you're not paying it, but someone else is paying for it. You can help protect Earth's resources in other ways as well, such as cleaning up a stream, educating others about the environmental issues, and analyzing the choices you make as a consumer. So, what you're buying, telling others about what things they can do better for themselves to help the environment, and just staying up to date with environmental issues is really what helps make a difference around the world. Like, I'm really big into not littering. I hate when people litter. And I really encourage, like, other people, like, let's throw this, like, my niece and nephew who are really young, they know not to throw things on the floor. They know it goes in the garbage can. And that's teaching them at a young age because I expect them to be that way when they're older. So it's time now to start, really putting those types of just keeping that in mind for them and making sure that they're aware that trash doesn't go on the ground, that it goes in a garbage can or it needs to be recycled. Sustainability. Meeting human needs in ways that ensure future generations will also help be able to meet their needs is known as sustainability. Conserving energy is one way to work towards a sustainable future. In the photo on page 559 are other ways to help ensure sustainability in the future. So in this picture, we're looking at, people planting trees, making compost. That's like food that's been used and they turn it back, put it back into the ground to add nutrients to the soil, or, picking up litter on the side of the road. So look with me on page 560. This is the last page. Restore and rethink. One way to help protect Earth is to restore damaged habitats, and another way to rethink ways to leading everyday life. For instance, cutting down the use of energy, like cutting off the lights, cutting off the water faucet when you're brushing your teeth. You can work for, like I volunteered before for Habitat for Humanity. That would be part of Restore, going and helping and clean up an area that's been damaged. All right, so reduce and reuse. You can reduce the amount of waste you create simply by reducing the amount of material you use. Buying products with the least packaging helps reduce the amount of waste produced. Reusing items rather than throwing them away and buying new items also cuts waste. Reusing bags, like those canvas type bags instead of using grocery store plastic bags. You also can donate used items to charities and resell them. So I love to clean out my closet and take things to charities that I'm not going to use anymore instead of just throwing them away and letting someone else use them. Recycling, manufacturing new products out of used products is called recycling. So recycling computers reduces the amount of material wasted and helps ensure that toxic materials in the computers are disposed of properly. They just don't need to be thrown into a dumpster. A computer doesn't. Compost is leaves, grass clippings, and vegetable scraps that can be turned into nutrient-rich soil, and it goes back into the ground. So right now I'm going to stop here and say the secret word for the video. So you need to email me the secret word, okay? And the secret word is vegetable, okay? So email me the secret word, and that lets me know that you did listen to this video. The secret word is vegetable. Buying recycled material is it says separating recyclables from the rest of the trash is one step. So if you already do that, great. If you throw away your plastics in one and your garbage in the other. To keep the recycling going, buying recycled products is another important part of recycling. It's really that's really popular right now. Buying you can buy shoes that are from recycled bottles. You can buy clothing that are from recycled material, like those Nano Puff jackets from Patagonia. Those are like 50% made from recycled material, so that's really cool. So there's a lot of things that they're doing with those recycled material. Drinking from straws that are from cardboard rather than plastics. Personally, I hate drinking from a cardboard straw, but it is better for the environment. But that's me personally. I just hate the way it feels in my mouth. All right, so that is, I believe, all of it. All right, guys, so email me the secret word, and thanks for listening. Bye.